I'm live. Oh, how is there already 3 people here? I made a last minute decision to go live. We'll see if people come hang out tonight. I had 2. One of you was like, oh, clicked on the wrong thing. I had show after show after show tonight. And my makeup still looks kind of okay. So I thought, let's go live. Hey, hi. Oh, people are hanging. Lucas Stoner. Is that your real last name? I'm a little jealous of your last name. Ruth, Anna. Oh, gosh, so many people. Margaret does want to hang out. Oh, someone asked, how was your day? It was a lot of shows. It's corporate comedy holiday party over Zoom. And so I did 2 corporate shows, a religious show, and like a random show. So it was a show day for me. Not your average glow up. Said, hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a great day. I want to hear more about your glow up. It's nice. Only 36 of you are on right now, so I can get to a lot of these questions. Yes, I blasted controller. I just went live. You just saw me like on a show? Were you on one of my shows or like in your room? I wasn't supposed to be there. Amanda Kennedy wrote, you and your mom are so cute. Word nut job. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, it's a lot of tweeting about my mother. I'm hanging out with her in Ohio right now. She's a nut job. I'm a nut job. My stepdad looked at us a few days ago, and what was the word he used? Oh, he used such a great word that was like, you 2 are the most annoying, but it was such a good word. And we were like, yeah, we know. Let's see here. Someone asked, will we get more video? Oh, I'll answer another one of your questions. Will we get more videos of you reading your apology letters? Yes. Some of that's been on hold because I'm writing a book that includes those, and I'm waiting to figure out like what I can and cannot put online. But yes, more apology letters, more videos. I am better at this than doing those edited videos because I don't know how to edit. So I'm working to do more of those. I'm not going to lie to you all. I've just been doing so many Zooms. I've had 2 to 5 Zoom shows every day for the past like 14 days. So I have the next week off. So hopefully you'll get some content from me. Oh, Blasted Controller said, I love your Instagram. Oh, your wife is in Ohio. I'm in Ohio right now. I live in New York, but I'm hanging out in Ohio for a few weeks because my mother's working from home now and she can't figure out technology. So I'm here to help her, but she moos for me when she needs help. It's my name, but it sounds like this. Pam, like a moo. So my mother moos for me like 80 to 100 million times a day. Am I doing a public comedy show anytime soon, virtual? Most likely. I get booked for a ton of private gigs though. So I feel like because those make money, that's what I often have been doing recently, but we'll see. We'll see during the holiday season. Let's see here. Can you please say hi, Simon? Is that your name, Simon? Hi, Simon. I'm sorry you've had a bad day. I hope this makes it better. Sending you love. Oh, someone wrote, I saw your Instagram where my mother doesn't know how to hang up. I don't know if anyone else has a parent above the age of 60, but she doesn't know how to hang up a phone. So she just clicks the home button and you can still hear her. So she'll hang up and she'll be like, Pam just called. She is a mess this week. And I'll be like, I still hear you. It's constant. So today I felt like it was enough. I taught her how to hang up her phone. Is she going to get it right? Absolutely not. She will not get it right. But at least I did my job. Any plans for the holidays? From Caroline. Carolyn. I should stop saying your names because you all know that I butcher names. Any plans for the holidays? No, I'm hanging out in Ohio with my mom, doing the successful quarantining, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, not licking anything like doorknobs or people. Someone wrote, I love that you're so connected to us. Most comedians leave that have the normal fan base. Oh, no. First of all, I'm a nobody in the comedy world. Nobody. Also, I'm really thankful that any of you hang out with me. And even if I start like doing other stuff, I promise I will always do this and hang out with you all when I can. And I just have shows to try to make ends meet like much of us right now. But no, I'll always do this kind of stuff. I love this kind. My favorite it's the most exhausting, but my favorite part after a big show is when people line up to talk to me. It's exhausting because I like want to be in the moment and having a great conversation with you. And there's people in line, so I always feel bad making people wait, but I love getting to connect with people. And often someone wrote, "You're not a nobody." No, I am. I hosted a comedy show tonight and I was like bringing people up and I was like, this next comic has been on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. He's a writer on Saturday Night Live, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, and me. I got no credits. I have a few. I've written for some cool stuff. And the Dr. Mike channel, I've done that. He's one of my good friends, though. Stay tuned for more. And one of the best people. And what else? Like Buzz. I've done BuzzFeed a few times and SiriusXM and things like that. Oh, someone wrote, "You look great." Thanks. I feel like a dumpster fire. I had a lot of shows. And the fact that I haven't Tourette'sed off my makeup, by the way, finding eye makeup when you have Tourette's is the most challenging thing that's ever happened. This is glued onto it's like caked on so that I don't Tourette it off. Let's see here. Are you going to be roasting Dr. Mike some more? Stay tuned. Not necessarily what we've already done, but stay tuned. What you see on camera is us in real life. I should make that clear. We are real life good humans and we laugh so hard it hurts together. So I'm sure. And also I roast them randomly on Instagram. Do you happen to listen to any comedians? Just wondering. Yeah. Well, first of all, I do shows with comics every day. But I also listen to some, and there are some great comics who have not hit yet, who are not famous, that you should definitely check out. So many favorites. I feel like I just did a show tonight with Matthew Broussard, who he's hit. He's been on the Tonight Show. He's been on Conan. He has a Comedy Central half hour, and he's so funny. I did a show tonight with a guy named John Marco Cerezi, who has an Amazon special out called Shelf Life. I think it's Amazon. It might be Hulu. I think it's Amazon. And he's fantastic. Who else is? Oh, Emma Willman was on a show with me tonight. She was on My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend as a recurring character, and she's fantastic. Those aren't super household names yet, but they will be. So go follow them. This might be too much, but can you roast me? I have red hair and I'm 5'8" and a boy. First of all, no, I don't want to be mean to you because you sound fantastic. Also, I believe that seeing someone with real red hair, gingy red hair, is a good omen. Double omen. I'm getting a FaceTime call. I should answer it. Should I answer it? No, he'll kill me. This is a friend who doesn't want to be on camera. Someone wrote, "I'd love you to do a show with Fortune Feimster." By the way, I one day tweeted that I'm straight and I said my sexuality is straight and Fortune Feimster because I love Fortune Feimster. Oh, but going back to red hair, I think it's a good omen to see someone with red hair, and it's a double good omen if they have a mullet. If I see a redheaded mullet, I sit in my tracks and take it in because I know it's going to be a good day. Love you. Oh, someone's going to sleep because it's Argentina. And Dr. Mike said sleep 8 hours. I don't do that, so you should. Sleep 1 for me, please. And good night. Let's see here. Do you know where Findlay, Ohio is? I do, but I don't drive, so I don't know if I'd ever find it, but I've definitely heard of it. Someone said Kareem has 2 tests tomorrow and you are stressing hard. Here's the deal. You've got it. Get out of your head. You've got it. And don't even call it a test. Call it a super fun time. When I was in high school and just a neurotic ball of mess, they stopped calling them tests for me and called them just super fun times. Because if you called it a test, I'd be like, nah, and I'd freak myself out and fail. Favorite makeup brands. Anything that doesn't Tourette off. Ooh, but I'll show you what my favorite lip product is because I have it here because I just had shows. This is not my favorite color. This is my favorite brand. I actually don't love this color, but it's called Buxom. And it's expensive, but I buy it on sale and I just stock up once a year when they have sales. But it's that kind that tingles your lips. And I like anything that tingles my lips. Most people hate it, the tingle sensation. So don't get it if you don't like that. Someone wrote, "What is sleep?" I don't know anymore. But I took next week off because I have book deadlines. So I'm going to sleep next week. That's probably a lie. Do you do, let's see here. Will you do stand up in New York City or Buffalo? Let's see here. Yeah, I do stand up all the time in New York City, just not as much during COVID. I do a lot of Zoom comedy. Someone asked how my day is. Oh, Someone asked how my day's been. Weird. I answered this earlier, but I had back-to-back shows today because it's corporate Zoom holiday party season. I didn't know that was a thing, but it's a thing this year. So I've just been doing corporate holiday parties. Caroline, that's a great question. Can you not drive because of Tourette's? Full disclosure, I have a license. I am the worst driver in the history of bad drivers. And it's unclear if it's Tourette syndrome or it's because I just am bad at driving. So first of all, because of Tourette's, my eyes are crossed for minutes at a time. So that's not the best thing to drive when. Also, I'm 4'6", so I can barely see over the steering wheel. Also, I get distracted by anything shiny. So I'll be driving and I'll be constantly doing that. I have a hard time remembering to look at the road. I have pedal extensions. I bedazzled the shit out of them. But now that I live in New York City, I sold my car and I barely ever drive. Someone wrote, I'm supposed to get my law exam results today. I was so nervous until you came on. Now I feel so much better. Also, Naomi, I have a feeling you did a killer good job, but also if you didn't, it's something will point you in the direction of what is next. And it sounds like law is your passion, so go with it. But you're either way, something good will come out of it. Also, I don't see the future. I just see you. And I think you probably killed it. What if I did see the future though? What if I was 4'6" Jewish, I had Tourette's syndrome, and I saw the future? I would have gotten a TV show. That's how that works. I see a ton of cute dogs in New York City. I got a shirt yesterday as a gift from one of my favorite cousins, and it says just, can I pet your dog? Because I could never commit to a tattoo. I have commitment issues. I'm going to be that girl that calls a boyfriend, the guy I'm hanging out with, until our wedding date. Even on our wedding day, I'd be I'm getting married to the guy I've been hanging out with. Commitment issues. But the only tattoo I would ever get is a tattoo that says, can I pet your dog? Because it's the only thing that's consistent in my life. Let's see. Someone asked, can we come to your Zoom shows? So as of right now, I'm doing a ton of private gigs, corporate, religious gigs, colleges. But because no one books for an open to the public gigs, those don't, I'm taking the kind of paid private gigs. But if you work at a corporate organization, feel free to tell them about me. If you go to college, I do international Zoom gigs for colleges. Feel free to pass my name along. Oh, of course. Someone said, thank you for saying my name and making my day. You're a great comedian. You always cheer me up. That makes me so happy. Can you do a podcast? I don't think anyone wants to hear me on a podcast. I don't think anybody does. I think it would be a lot of me being what are we talking about again? What is happening? Nobody wants me to do a podcast. Let's see here. Someone wrote, I love how supportive and T.I. Ray. I love how supportive and motivational you are. Where can we see your shows? So I'll keep trying to post stuff online. Again, most of my stuff is private shows right now. But Los Angeles, I'm in LA usually 3 to 4 times a year. Once COVID is over, I will be back. 2 of my best friends live in LA. And a guy that I'm kind of hanging out with. You can read in between the lines there. So I'll be back. I love that you want me to do a podcast. What I am going to try to do is I have a YouTube series idea that I'm really excited about. I just want to do it right. And I'm that human that has such anxiety about not doing things well that I end up taking way too long and not doing it. And I need to just dive in and do it. And I'm working on that. So I have a killer good YouTube series idea. And my goal this week is to film the first one. So don't hold me to it, but I'm really going to try. I have the week off. Have I ever considered international fringe comedy shows? Yeah. Also, I have that one woman show I think I love stand-up, but doing the one woman show of comedy and storytelling with a message, that's my jam. Getting to tour colleges and corporate communities and doing that. So it's you're laughing, then you cry a little bit, then you laugh a little bit, and then I hit you with a message. I think that's where my passion is the most right now. And I would like to do some festivals with that at some point. Oh, thank you. T.I. Ray said you'll be one of the first people when the world returns to normal. Thank you. I hope. Listen, once I get this YouTube series out, let me know your thoughts on it. If you hate it, let me know. If you love it, let me know. My YouTube channel is still relatively small, but we're building. We're building together. My goal right now is to hit Instagram to 10,000 subscribers. And I hate saying that and I hate that I feel that, but you get the swipe up feature and it's so hard to promote videos because I'm technologically challenged and I just want that swipe up feature. So if you know anyone who hasn't followed me on Instagram yet, feel free to go do that. I'm pretty close. I think I'm about to hit 9,000 subscribers and then it's just finding another 1,000 of you. It can't be that hard. Cat wrote my cat. Wait, is it cat or Kate? Cat wrote my cat chewed my phone cable. I'm not using this tiny charger that's 6 inches long. Kill me now. Are you like up against the wall charging your phone? I've done that before. Lauren, Pam, I'm obsessed with you. I just had surgery. Your videos make me laugh. Oh, feel better. I know you. Did I go to school with you? I feel like I can't see photos right now. It's real, but I know that I went to school with someone with your name. Do I know you? If not, well, and if so, feel better. Feel so much better. Please join Dr. Mike's Discord. He keeps saying he will tell you to join. He keeps me updated on it. We text a lot, but I've yet to join it. Maybe I will. It's so weird to look at a YouTube live video chat that isn't going so fast you can't read it. I know, because there's 60 of you on. Not only thrilled to have 60 people, I also didn't promote I was doing this. I finished a show and I was like, you know what? Let's go live. Let's see here. Someone wrote, my 14-year-old has Tourette's and you're a huge inspiration to the both of us. I love it. Thank you. I think like when I was a kid, I didn't have any adult in my life that I knew that had Tourette's or even had like a disability that I felt like I could look up to. And so much of my goal has been to like do what I can to like shine a positive light. Like, yeah, things can be hard and painful and frustrating and can add really cool, incredible things to your life if you're brave enough to allow it. Let's see here. What else? Can you sing? No, I cannot. I sound like a cat dying when I sing. I wish I could sing. Sometimes I pretend like I can sing, but no. One day I'll sometimes I think in song. Anyone else think in song? So I'll be like, I'm gonna do my hair, but it's bad. It's bad, but I'm in a musical in my own head. It is not a good musical. Oh, Lauren, we did not go to school together. You just look so familiar. I wish we went to school together too. I was weirder when I went to school. Hey. Someone said, I remind you of your favorite teacher who loves all the students and called us her children. Grace, you can be my child too, unless your teacher's already claimed you and your parental unit or units. I try to be so inclusive that I don't say parents. I say like parent, guardian, parental unit. Like I always shake it up. As a kid, I grew up with just a mom. My dad died when I was little. So I was always very aware when people were like, we're calling home to your parents. And I was like, well, good luck with the dead one. I'm dark sometimes. Let's see here. Kat wrote, I've got hearing aids. Got some skull stickers for them. I love it. Margaret, I also went to boarding school. Did yours have compulsory? Yes. We called it mandatory fun. Margaret's called it compulsory fun. I can never say that word. We had mandatory fun. We also had prom on like a Wednesday and it was mandatory and it ended at like 10 p.m. Ashton, what are you doing for the last night of Hanukkah? We made latkes. Yum. Send me a latke. I did back-to-back shows. And then I went to go see if my mother had made dinner because I'm in my 30s and don't know how to cook. And I'm also staying with my mom in Ohio and she always cooks. So I assumed there'd be something left over when I went upstairs after all these shows. And I opened the fridge and there was a thing of homemade chicken and it said, for the dog, do not touch. So I ate my dog's chicken for dinner. I don't know how to cook. Elizabeth wrote, tell us a dark humor joke. I always feel weird doing stand-up on things like this because I can't hear you laugh. So it feels like just like yelling a joke at the end of a long hallway where no one's there and you just like echo back at you. But I'll tell you that when my dad died and I didn't write comedy about it for years and years and years. It wasn't funny to me. And part of the way I cope is to like find humor in things. And so probably 6 years ago, all of a sudden out of nowhere, I started writing jokes about my dad dying. And it wasn't like making light of it. It was an awful situation, but it was about like finding the humor in it. So like people would always say things to me like, I'm sorry you lost your dad. And I always would say things like, I didn't lose him. I know exactly where he is. Like he's literally exactly where I last saw him. And I started just like writing all these down. And my dad died on Valentine's Day. And since then, I've now done between like 3 and 6 shows every year on Valentine's Day. And it's become a great coping mechanism. Thank you. Lifu, the snake thing. I read that as the snake thing. And I was like, yeah, laughing noise. Thank you. We laugh in the chat. I love you all. Do you have a list of places you plan to be doing stand-up? Anywhere that will hire me when the pandemic is over. Did you want me to lie? I'll go anywhere. I'll go anywhere. Someone wrote, how did my dad die? He died of cancer. Long time ago. He fought really hard. It was a really bad cancer. I miss him a lot. But I don't think I did things really wrong in my life because he was always watching. Like my mom was like, you never really like drank before you were supposed to. You didn't do any of that stuff. And I was like, yeah, you wouldn't either if you had a parent watching you all the time. I don't know if that's true. Your Insta story put me in the best mood. My mother would do the same thing with the dog. Alexander, good. I'm glad. Literally a few weeks ago, my mother was like, the dog wants your seat. You need to move. And I was like, are you kidding? And she was like, you're visiting. The dog lives here. Move. We know who her favorite is. I usually do come to Texas in the summer. I often do perform at a summer camp in Texas and then hang out and do a few other shows. A few people are also sharing that they had a parent die of cancer. I'm sorry. It sucks. I am so thankful I can like find the humor in in his memory, and I laugh every day. And I think that would make him really happy. What summer camp? I'm not going to remember offhand. If you all knew how many summer camps I tour, you would be offended. I think not last summer because of COVID, but the summer before, I think I was like at 26 summer camps. I would get there and I'd always have a few hours to kill because flight schedules don't always like match up with like show times. So I'd get to the camp and have like 4 or 5 hours to kill. And they'd be like, do you want us to take you to your room? And I'd be like, no, point me to arts and crafts. Or I'd be like, to the theater department. And I'd like show up and like, they have to pay extra for me to lead workshops. But if I wandered into the theater department and they were like, Pam, do you want to lead something? I would be like, yes, I do. Thank you. So they would often get some free things. Michael wrote, or Michael or I'm so bad at names. It's like embarrassing. Someone wrote, I wish we could be real life friends. You seem like an awful person, or awesome person. I'm also awful. We can be real life friends. We are real life friends. We're hanging out now on I don't know what night it is, Thursday. I love summer camp. Summer camp is my jam. Let's see here. Someone wrote, my son is 12 and intrigued by anything he doesn't understand. He spent hours reading about Tourette's after he saw a video of eating Mike so he would know more in case he met someone with it. That's like the purest thing I've ever read. And something tells me that if your kid has a kid in his class with Tourette's or with any disability, he's going to be that kid is like, I don't get it, and I'm going to be their friend. And that's inclusion. I love that. Someone else wrote, can I be your friend? Yes, we are all. Yes, I can't say your name. Pradeep is your last name, and I'm pretty confident in pronouncing your last name. And you can. We can be friends. We can be friends. I love this. Someone wrote, how long are you going to be live? I need to go grab some drink and laugh tonight. I'll probably do 5 or 10 more minutes. I agree. That was a pure. Yeah, I'll hang out for like 5 or 10 more minutes. Someone wrote, Winter the Potato. Curious if that's your real name, wrote, hi, I love you. Honestly, you made me feel amazing about my ADHD. Good, because society makes people feel shitty about being different. And you know who's changing the world? People who are different, people who think differently and talk differently and see the world differently. And things like autism, ADHD, learning disabilities, those aren't negative things. Our brains are wired differently. I'm whispering because my family's sleeping, but we're wired differently. We're the type of people that are going to make the world a better place, change the world, see the world differently. And I love it. If all I do is make you all feel a little bit better about what makes you you, then my work here is done. Let's see here. Dick wrote, this is a good thing to take my mind off back pain. I want to work my fat self. No, if you've got back pain, that's your body telling you to chill it out, to do some self-care. That's good for your body too. Doing self-care. Take a bath, heat your bath, Have a glass of wine. I don't know if you're of age. Don't do that if you're not. I don't want to get in trouble. Nate wrote, what's your favorite song? That's like a really hard question because I think it changes according to my mood. Okay, so at boarding school, that song, you gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. I gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. Was definitely from like before my time. I'm not old enough for that song to be my song, but I found it on like a cassette when I was at boarding school, which by the way, we were far past cassettes. I'm not that old, but I then bought a little cassette player from like a thrift store. And my roommate and I at boarding school would stomp so hard to that song, mainly to annoy the boys below us, truthfully. But since then, that song like makes me, you gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. I gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. Do you like Broadway shows? If so, what's your favorite musical? So I saw the original cast of Rent on Broadway when I was just a wee little nugget. So the same height as now, but like 7 years old. I was far too young to see that show. But my mother took my sister and I cried for so long. And my mother said, if you memorize every word, I'll take you too. Like nobody gives Pam a challenge. So I did it and I made them take me. Are you friends with Dr. Mike in real life? And the answer is yes. He's one of the kindest, most wonderful, funny people on the whole planet, and I love him. Your singing may not be great, but it totally adds to the humor. Okay, good. What if people were like, no, you have a great voice? And I was like, I didn't even know. And then I started doing these live, but just singing for you all, and no one ever told me it was awful. So I was like, somewhere over the rainbow. And you were all like, oh my God, she's so talented. And then I was like, I'll quit comedy and be a singstress. Is that the word? Someone wrote, I went too far into YouTube. This is a dark hole that you are lost. Someone give Bread Brothers directions. I'm 4'6". I'm Jewish and I have Tourette's syndrome and we're hanging out. And that's probably a lot to handle. Someone wrote, hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? And I read that as, how high are you? How high are you? I was like, sober right now. Daisy the Barb wrote, do you prefer person first or disability first language? So when I'm like on tour and doing one-woman show about loving differences and I'm talking to someone with a disability, I go off their lead. So if they use disability first or person, like I go off of their lead in the way they talk about themselves. For me, I typically end up just kind of defaulting to person first, but to each their own, and everyone with a disability gets to pick the language they want. So my theory is I usually kind of default person first. And I know like the autism community often likes identity first language. So I would default to like what, if I'm talking to someone else, the way they talk about it is the way I would talk about it to make sure they're comfortable, because truthfully, I can switch either way and be totally comfortable. Someone wrote, you're exactly where the universe intended you to be. I love that. Can you imagine stumbling onto this and having no idea who I am? And you're just like, I found an Oompa Loompa. She cannot sing. She's winking at me uncontrollably. It's Tourette's in case you're new here. Oh, someone wrote, I'm just A. I don't know what your first A. It's always weird that not everyone has like their name written, but I'm dyslexic and you help me feel free to talk about my disability. Good. Okay, Pradeep, last name again, I'm not going to say your first name. Oh, okay, bye, I've got class. Go kill it in your class. Go do the best you can do. That's me, I'm new. Colleen, hi, welcome. I'm Pam. I'm a stand-up comedian and disability advocate. I have Tourette's syndrome and obsessive compulsive disorder, and I love finding the funny in it, and I love encouraging other people to like let their freak flag fly and like you do you, and like yes and whatever makes you weird, and own it. So I'm glad you're here. Pam, what's your opinion on disabilities in video games like Sims 4? So I haven't seen Sims 4, but I guess, I don't know. I've never been asked about disabilities. I'll tell you, in the media. So here's the X factor. If someone with a disability helped create The Sims 4 or helped put that person in it, chances are it's so much better than if someone without a disability did it. And I think that's true in the media too. And it doesn't necessarily have, someone might hate me for saying this. Yes, I would love for people with disabilities to be playing people with disabilities, but like sometimes it might not be possible. So in that case, I want a writer on the staff to have it. I want the showrunner to have one. Like someone connected to the show has to have the lived experience of a disability, because if they do, it's just a better story. It's a more robust story. The story isn't like disability. The story is like person living their life who also has a disability. And it just makes it better. When characters with disabilities are one-dimensional, it's because they're played by someone without a disability and it was written by someone without a disability. Let's see here. Can you tell us a joke that'll make us cry, like out of sadness? I'm just kidding. No, it's so weird to tell jokes, but just like hang out with me. I promise I'll say something funny, hopefully, maybe. Have you ever heard of Tourette's being treated with a form of neurotherapy? I know someone who has Tourette's. I've heard of a lot of things. Okay, here's my favorite thing that I get unsolicited advice on how to treat Tourette's literally every day. But my favorite is that my dentist was this like older dude who I like kind of loved, was like kind of awkward. And he was like, Pam, I read a new thing about Tourette's and I'd love to be able to try it on you. I'll do it for free or I'll do it for a cost if you let me do it. And I was like, what is it? And he was like, it's a mouth thing and it's supposed to help your Tourette's. And I was like, tell me more. And he was like, it holds your mouth wide open. And I was like, how wide open? And he was like, this. And I was like, for like an hour a day, for like 10 minutes. And he's like, no, you wear it 24 hours a day. And I was like, okay. So you're telling me my Tourette's might calm down, but I look like this. And I was like, you know what? Thank you so much. Going to stick with the Tourette's, but thank you so much. Someone wrote, Mars, I'm 20 and I just got diagnosed with Tourette's. Any advice? And the answer is find love in it. When I stress out about my Tourette's getting worse, and by the way, Tourette's waxes and wanes, when I stress out, it gets so much worse. But when I just like kind of lead into it, like, this is what it is. My brain is different and it has Tourette's. It will often calm down quicker or be less kind of noticeable or painful. So I think my advice would be like, find love in it and realize that studies are showing that people with Tourette's are often more creative, are better focused at certain things they're into. So find things about yourself that you love and realize that you love those. And it's not despite Tourette's, that those things you love about yourself might be like in part because of Tourette's. And once I made that connection, it was easier. Someone uniquely Penny, AKA Penny Locker. Some people have the oddest cures for us disabled people. My eyebrow lady, I've had so many bad eyebrow ladies who have told me how to cure Tourette's. Sorry, I'm like burping because I'm drinking this. Not an ad. My eyebrow lady was like, you don't have Tourette's. You just need milk of magnesia. And I was like, pretty sure pooping has nothing to do with my neurological disorder. Carly Sullivan wrote, Pam, have you seen the movie Run? If so, did you like it? I have not seen it. Should I watch it? If I should watch it, tell me. I will. I love homework. Ben wrote, is it possible to hold your tics in? Or if so, does it cause any side effects? So some tics I cannot hold back at all, mainly the facial ones like my eye blinking, and some I can a little bit, but if I hold them back, it gets 150 times worse. So I just don't. I just decided like if I'm going to bark, I'm going to bark. If I'm going to bark on a first date, like I'll just be like, no, I was really into this. Okay, I'll just like make it work for me, you know? Hey Pam, if the pandemic magically ended right now, what would you do tonight? Go to live comedy. Lick the microphone. I can't believe I just said that. I have to edit that out. Can I edit that out? Go to live comedy. Like hug my friends. My favorite part about being a New York comic is when I get back from touring, I know so many people and you walk into like a disgusting bar in New York City and you just hug everyone. And I miss touch. I miss touch of hugging my friends. I miss going to a disgusting bar and ordering an overpriced drink. I miss sitting in the back of a comedy club and watching my friends bomb or kill, both equally fun. Wyatt wrote, I want to be a comedian really bad, but I have a stutter and it kicks in when I'm nervous. Do you have any advice to be less nervous? First of all, you can stutter on stage. There's, oh my gosh, and I just dropped her name, Nina. There's a comedian named Nina who has written books. She stutters. She's fantastic. She's so funny. And she stutters on stage. And like, I tick on stage, lean into it. If you want to be a comedian, what makes you different is not a negative, it's a plus. One of my friends was like, Pam, you're 4'6", you're Jewish and you have Tourette's. Oh my God, you're so lucky. Because in comedy, it's material. So my advice is if you've got something that people will notice when you're on stage, do a joke about it. So no matter what, I do a joke about having Tourette's within the first 4 minutes of my set. So people aren't trying to be like, is she winking at me? Then they'll be like, oh, Tourette's, and they can like settle in. And then I can go do things about being single and being a hot mess. Drew Lynch. Yep, Drew Lynch is great. I've worked with Drew many times. Drew Lynch has a stutter. He's fantastic. And there was a comedian on America's Got Talent with Tourette's. I shouldn't tell a story here, but I have a story about my audition for that show. Yeah, someone wrote, Penny Locker wrote, having a difference is the best for comedy. Comedy's tough, though. I tonight had a show that I got in my head. I knew people on the show, and I got in my head, and I wouldn't say I ate shit on the show, but I would say I took a few bites. It was rough. I like 2 minutes into the set, I was like, Pam, I don't like where this is going. And I thought that, and then I licks Mike cutely. And I don't even think I'd be cute about it. I think I'd be like, oh my God, I've missed you. I don't know if that mic is plugged in and if you heard that or not. Let's see here. Yeah, Lauren wrote, I have PTSD and panic disorder, and I get a ton of unsolicited advice, like, just relax, think of something else. I know. Yeah, people are really awful with mental health. They don't get it. Like, walk it off. Or like when I went through a little bit of depression during COVID, which I think probably a lot of us did. And someone in my family was like, your family is healthy. Like, you need to pull out of this. And I was like, okay, I can be thankful my family is healthy and my brain chemicals can be a little bit off because my world was pulled out from under me, as was everyone else's. And like, I see suffering everywhere and I'm internalizing all of that, right? We can have both of those things. Nate wrote, I want to be a comedian, but I have horrible social anxiety. It's so bad I'm late to class over 200 times due to it. Should I even try comedy? Yeah, try comedy. If you want to be a comedian, try it. You don't just say like, I'm going to become a comedian, but you can try comedy. And by the way, just start writing. There are tons of ways to be a comedian without getting on stage and performing live. I write for TV, or I did. I wrote for a TV show. You can write for shows. I have a friend who writes for MTV and writes for Snap, and you can write books, you can write articles. I'm writing a book. Like, there are tons of ways to do comedy without being a stand-up comic. And if you want to be a stand-up comic, start writing. My suggestion is come 1 to 2 minutes of material and do it in an open mic, and know that like it's probably not going to go well, because nothing goes well at an open mic. Ben wrote, you should be on SNL. I don't think I'm the right match for SNL. I would love to eat those words, by the way. I don't really do impressions, because every impression is like that person with Tourette's. that would get old really quickly. But I'd love to write for SNL. Let's see here. So someone wrote, isn't it cool that non-disabled people play disabled characters? I wish we could live in a world where only people with disabilities are playing people with disabilities. But I also know that sometimes in the writing, it's just like not possible. Listen, I would love to see it where it happens. But if it's not possible, actually not possible, then I want to see a writer with it. I want to see that person doing more than like reading one bad article about it. I want it to be more robust. Yeah. But I would prefer to have people with disabilities playing. I'm sure you all heard about the Sia thing, where she has someone who's not on the autism spectrum playing someone who is. And not only that, the only research she did was through an organization that folks with autism don't like, because it's not good to, that organization isn't good to them. It doesn't celebrate them. It's looking for a cure as opposed to, and it's Autism Speaks. They're looking for a cure as opposed to like celebrating the heck out of different brains. And she just like did no research. She didn't include anybody with a disability. She was like, it's mean to have someone play this. It was like, and then she like shit on people who called her out on it. I was one of them on the Twitters. So don't be like that. Don't be like that. If she had done research, if she had included a writer, there were so many things she could have done so that we would have been like, yeah, we don't love that girl played it. That feels really performative and not real at all. But like, she did do this, so maybe we won't rip her apart as much. Catherine, oh God, I'm bad at names. Please watch The Marvelous Miss Maisel. I love Marvelous Miss Maisel, but here's the thing. And I have friends who are on it. I have friends who write for it. I watch it as a woman and not as a comedian, because as a comedian, it drives me mad. But as like a woman who loves it, she's like empowered and all of that. I love it. How many people have told you something like you need Jesus to get over Tourette's? So many. When my Tourette's is more noticeable, people come up to me and be like, I'm praying for you. And I always want to be like, I live in New York City with my dream job. I'm doing okay. Like, pray for someone who needs it. Don't pray for someone who you perceive needs it. God, what a wasted prayer. I'm doing fine for now. Let's see here. Someone wrote, ask Dr. Mike to talk about ALS. I will. I can relay that message. I know someone who got that diagnosis recently, and I would like to fundraise for it. And so I hear it, and I will, next time I see him, it might be a while because of COVID, but I will pass that message along. Have you faced any anti-Semitism in the comedy world? Miriam asked. Not a ton in the comedy world. Sometimes doing comedy in the Midwest, or in random places, I'll have I remember somebody came up to me after the show and they were like, my last name is Schuler, and they were like, the Schuler gives away that you're a Jew. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure this does. So every now and again there will be a comment, you'll be like, nah, no. But comedians we're mean, but we're a pretty inclusive bunch because we all know that differences are great. And there's so many Jewish comedians, Jews in comedy. Sunfish wrote, if I had $1 for every time I've been told people are praying for me all of the time. It's weird living a life where people are so different to me on days where my Tourette's is noticeable versus days where they're not. So I was in the city before COVID, and I went to, I'm just going to name it. I went to Bloomingdale's. And my Tourette's was very flaily and noticeable that day. And I make a living. I do okay when I'm touring. And I was wanting to buy a piece of jewelry that I'd had my eye on for a while. I'm cheap, so I wait and think about things a lot, but I was ready to buy it. And I had to wait in line because it was behind the counter, and I waited behind 4 people, and it finally got to me, and I'm ticking. And she looked behind me and she was like, are you with her? And I was like, no, hi, I'm with me. Hi, I'm with me. And she wouldn't speak to me. She spoke to the person behind me about me. And I was like, I'm not with them. I want to buy that necklace. And she was so condescending. And I emailed Bloomingdale's and I offered them a free training because that's what I have, a master's in advocacy. This is my passion. And I was like, listen, I charge real money for this, but I will just come do it because I would like it to be better when I shop here next time. And they never got back to me. So if anyone here works at Bloomingdale's, I will no longer do it for free. That ship has sailed, but I will do it for cheaper. Kat, from a woman who's 4'10", how many height jokes do you get? So many, and I've heard them all. But when someone says something to me that I haven't heard before, I'm always really happy and impressed. But so often people I'm not even going to say it because I'm on YouTube, but people do a dirty joke that I've heard a million times, and I'm always like this. That's my fake laugh. Let's see here. Where is your favorite place to do a show? You know what? It's the audience, not necessarily the location. Every now and again you have an audience and it's just so much fun. And that can be anywhere. I've had those I had one in Utah. That was so fun. I had one in Mississippi. I had one in Ohio. And I was like, oh, this is why I do what I do. And then I've also had really rough ones all over the place. Let's see here. Yeah, sunfish out of water. I feel so weird saying names that aren't real names, but sunfish out of water. I hope that is actually what your parent or guardian named you. Wrote so many of those times where it's, when your disability is noticeable versus not. What's your funniest tick story from Tourette's? Okay, I think I've told this one on YouTube before, but I'm okay with telling it 18 times. So I used to hear something and it would stick in my head and become a tick from Tourette's. And I used to yell words from Tourette's. I don't as much anymore. I have to whisper them if I have to do it at all, but I go through a lot of times where it's not happening at all. But I used to yell things. And have you ever seen that Little Caesars commercial where the little dude is like, pizza, pizza? When I was in 7th grade, Tourette's heard that and was like, yes, that. And for a year and a half, whenever it got quiet, I would yell pizza, pizza, including funerals, dates, you name it, I yelled it. Thank you all for being so positive in the chat, by the way. I feel very lucky that I've got, it's a little YouTube channel. I think we're about to hit 12,000, little but mighty, small but mighty, much like me. But I don't have mean comments for the most part in the comments. And even on the stuff with Dr. Mike, I remember telling him, first of all, he asked me to film with him and I said no for weeks because I was like, you have a lot of followers and I don't know that I want to, I'm a little nervous that people are going to hate me and I'm going to see awful comments. And for the most part, people are really nice to me. I have also come a long way. I'm now putting myself out there on the internet more often. 2 years ago, I would do live shows, but this would be too scary, wait, we all have to work on ourselves. We all have to get there. But I love responding to the mean comments. They still sometimes twing a little bit my heart. But like someone was like, why aren't you funny? And I was like, I ask myself that every day. Or someone was like, ew, you're a comedian. And I said, Mom, is that you? And I've been having fun with the mean ones. So they no longer hurt. But the vast majority are lovely and funny and make me feel like we're creating a community where people like get it, that like, this is not a place where we're mean. This is a place where we love on each other for being different. Let's see here. I'm like going to have Tourette's right now as I try to read. Pam, are you a Harry Potter fan? Yeah, I am. I'm not like a mega fan. What house do you think I would be in? I know this one. What house would, put your guesses in the chat. If I were in Harry Potter, what would my house be? I think I'm pretty clearly one. But there's one I wish I was. Hufflepuff. You all got it. I'm for sure a Hufflepuff. I'm a Hufflepuff. Yeah. But do you know which one I wish I was? Slytherin. I wish I was a touch more Slytherin. When I get in a cab in New York City, I'll be like, oh my gosh, hi, how are you? And all the time the cabbie will be like, you're not from here. Yep. You all know. Hufflepuff. You're a Griffin. I'm always a little jealous of Gryffindor, but I'm just would never be a Gryffindor. The worst thing about Tourette's is people are always expecting you to say something funny. I know. I always remind people that I yell bad words, but it's not from Tourette's. It's because you're pissing me off. See, I can be mean sometimes, but it's always like a touch of snark. I remember you saying you love to dance. We'd love to have you in our virtual class. In Atlanta, Matt Smith, reach out. If I can, I will absolutely do it. I'll stop by one day and do a virtual dance class and say hi. My schedule stinks for a while, but reach out. If we can get on the schedule, I will in a heartbeat. Also, I was supposed to be in Atlanta for a week-long gig in a few months, and we just had a call yesterday that it's probably gonna have to be virtual. I was excited. I love that Bites Mike aggressively. You keep saying it. Was it that aggressively? I really miss disgusting microphones in New York City. Someone wrote you could fit the entire Smurf population on that forehead. This forehead? Is this a big forehead? This is a big, I don't think it's a big forehead. Do I need, I don't care if it is. Unless you're like, they're little, so they could all fit, but I think I have a pretty normal forehead. I think I have a really big nose. I love this nose, but its butt is big. So what show did you write for? A few of you are asking that. I'm not going to say it. But what I will say is I still write for a bunch of famous people. So I've been really lucky that I've gotten to write like speeches for random celebrities throughout the year. Speeches, articles. I'm really lucky that I'm able to make a career out of doing what I love. And that is being weird and finding humor. I can't teach you jokes, but I can show you how I write jokes. Here, let me, and then we'll close this out because it's been 47 minutes. And how are there still 85 of you? I'm boring. Okay, so I have a file in my phone called Funny SHIT. And I put all of my thoughts here. And when I have writer's block, I will think to myself, what's the angriest you've been in the past month? What's the saddest you've been? What's the hardest you've laughed? I'll go through prompts and I'll just write about it. Yesterday, this happened and I wrote it down yesterday or a few days ago. I don't know, time all runs together. I was teaching my mom technology. I was working with her in technology and she's getting so frustrated. I was trying to keep her calm and I was making fun of her also because I'm mean because she keeps doing it wrong. And she goes, I know I'm an idiot. And I was like, nobody talks about my mother like that. And I like yelled at her for being mean to herself and I put her in a timeout. I was like, I can be mean to my mother, but nobody else can be mean to my mother. So I will like find a joke in that. Dick Grayson, Pam, you're the greatest. If I ever get married, you're totally invited. Thank you. Can I be the flower girl? I would love to be the flower girl. Let's see here. I will stream again soon. I need to remember that I always love doing this. And next time I'll like think in advance and I'll tell people I'm going to do it. You all just like showed up. I really honestly expected like 2 of you to be here. Someone wrote, oh my God, I drink so much coffee. Now I'm shaking violently from the caffeine. Someone help. Okay, true story. I quit caffeine a few years ago, because at one point in my career, I was working remotely before I was a full-time performer, and I would make a pot of coffee, 7 cups ish, and I'd put it in the fridge, and then I'd put a straw in it, and I'd drink the whole thing. And at one point, my best friend looked at me and she goes, "I cannot tell where caffeine ends and Tourette's begins." And I was like, "I'm gonna quit caffeine." I still do have Tourette's though, just like a less caffeinated version of it. Luke, thank you for congratulating me on quitting caffeine. It's every day I struggle. I drink a decaf coffee every day now because like I've talked myself into the fact that like it's a little bit of caffeine. And Dick, you're right. Caffeine withdrawals do suck. I thought I had a brain tumor because I had a headache for 3 weeks. And my doctor was like, "What did you learn? What did you learn?" And I was like, that I should never quit caffeine again. That's what I learned. Oh, Ben, welcome. I just popped up on your feed. Welcome. I don't know if you know who I am. I'm a nobody, but I'm a comedian who has Tourette's syndrome and talks a lot about like loving the shit out of what makes you you. And I love hanging out with you all. Okay. You all, I'm going to head out for the night, but I have loved hanging out with you all. I will do this again. Thank you for being my crew. Thank you for logging on and letting me hang out with you. Next time I'm going to do an Instagram live so that I can maybe let some of you pop in with me. So you please go follow me on Instagram at Pamela Comedy if you are not already following me. I hate doing that promotion, but I really want that swipe up at 10,000. But I'll do an Instagram live next, and I'll let a few of you pop in with me and we can meet face to face and have some conversations. Thank you all so much. Have a great night. Those of you who have finals and tests and you're hearing about college entries, good luck. You're going to kill it. Lean into what makes you you. Thank you all so much. Good night, everybody.